What happens when American industry finally gets unleashed? Well, tonight we'll show you why corporate titans are suddenly pledging billions of dollars in new investment and why union leaders are frantically calling Congress. Inside sources tell us that the big, beautiful bill contains something so powerful it has China's leadership in full-blown panic. And when you see the numbers we're about to reveal, you'll understand why President Trump just issued his boldest ultimatum yet to Congress. This is not just about tax cuts. It's about reshaping America's economic future. And what one major CEO just promised could change everything for working Americans across 16 states. And speaking of economic pressure, let's talk about blood pressure. With the big, beautiful bill's impact on American industry, many are feeling the stress of rapid change. That's why managing your blood pressure naturally is crucial. Now, if you go to boostwithgary.com, and you'll find this product. It contains powerful ingredients like white mulberry leaf and cinnamon bark powder, proven to help maintain healthy blood pressure levels naturally. Don't let stress impact your health when there is a natural solution. Visit boostwithgary.com today and take advantage of their 40% off special, plus get fast shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just tap more below this video and take advantage. Okay, we have a very detailed thread that we composed today, posted it on X just a few hours ago. Now, I know Todd said get to the thread first, but I want to watch this. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett talking about the big, beautiful bill on News Nation.
And the bottom line is that this is a bill that's ready for the next version of America, which is a lot of onshoring of activity, but also big, big tax cuts for the people who need it most. So we've got tax reductions for people who earn overtime. And I met with the president of the UAW in my office a week ago to talk about the hundreds of dollars a week for many people that's going to save. We're cutting taxes on Social Security people. I think one of the biggest tragedies of economic policy in America is that some people retire for Social Security, they don't have enough money, they want to go back to work, and then all that work that they get is taxed. If they make an extra dollar, they lose 50 cents, and they get taxed on the rest of it. And there's no tax on tips. And so all of this stuff is helping middle-class Americans get back to work, and that's really great for the economy. But also the big, beautiful bill has a lot of beautiful stuff in it that nobody's talking about, which is another one of your themes. And so one of the things I like the best is that for every baby, it's in the bill, every baby born in America, then the minute they're born, the government creates a $1,000 account, puts it into the stock market for them so that they've got it when they retire, and then they get to look at that account on their iPhone or their phone for the rest of their lives and see what America is doing for them. And I think that that kind of bill is exactly what we need right now. And we don't need, like, we've extended the tax cuts, which created all this manufacturing in the U.S., but we focused really on the middle class of this bill, and that's why it's going to probably pass tonight or early in the morning, and that's my intel from the meeting with the president today.
Whoa, that is super cool. $1,000 as soon as the baby's born, put into the stock market. You can track it for your whole life. Todd, do a workup on that real quick and tell me what that $1,000 could be when that baby is a full-grown adult at the age 40. I want to find out. See if you can get that to me before the clip is over. Let's get into the big, beautiful bill for America. Corporate titans backing it, Trump demanding action, Democrats howl, doom. And the stakes, your paycheck, border, freedom, and your children's future. This thread shreds the DC spin and drops receipts. We are breaking it all down. Let's go. Trump calls pass. Inside caucus 45 told House Republicans, 47 told House Republicans it's time to steady markets, extend the cuts, and finish the wall. Branding the one big, beautiful bill the ultimate 2025 Patriot litmus. Momentum has surged as he exited, cheers rolling through the halls.
That we're going to extend. President Trump came to our conference yesterday, and he was very clear. We need to move forward. We've been negotiating this. We've been working through this. It is the most conservative bill we've seen. Is it perfect? No. But we need to get this done today, and it's very important that we follow his lead. And he was clear with us. He said it's time to get this passed. It is time to show the markets that we are fiscally responsible, but also that we're going to extend those tax cuts and make good on the promises that he was mandated to do on November 5th.
Got it. Congressman August Pfluger. Thanks for joining us, sir. Always appreciate it.
Thank you
very much.
GOP unity locks. Majority Whip Scalise warns a catastrophic $2,000 hike for families if holdouts fold. Tax hikes versus relief. Border versus chaos. Stakes sharpen as countdown hits its final hours and K Street panics.
Families would. And what President Trump really talked about was the things that we all talked about during the campaign. How important it was to prevent a tax increase on working class families. Low and middle income families would see a large, painful tax increase if this bill were not to happen. And look, we all know every Democrat's going to vote no. They've bragged about it. They are fighting tooth and nail to stop us from preventing a tax increase. And what President Trump really...
Steel is backing the bill. American Iron and Steel Institute fires a capital alert, passed the act to lock 100% bonus depreciation, R&D expensing, and interest relief, or watch the mills rust in China. Cheer. Union reps warn thousands of furnace jobs ride on the vote. Here is the message. AISI urging the House to pass the One Big Beautiful Bill Act as it restores key tax provisions that encourage manufacturing investment. Big Steel behind it. John Deere digging in, the green giant pledging $20 billion over a decade. $20 billion. 60 plants across 16 states, 30,000 U.S. jobs, but only if Congress seals the pro-growth DNA baked into Trump's big, beautiful bill. Midwest mayors say approval means tractors roll and small towns boom. Who could vote against something like this? Only if you hate America would you vote against this. It's because they want to keep their constituents suffering, those Democrats. Workers winning big. White House economists project 4.2 million jobs, a $6,000 to $11,000 wage jump, $100 billion plus investment once the package clears. That's no trickle down. That's cash, a cash geyser for welders, truckers, coders alike, fueling factories and diners, coast to coast. One big beautiful bill. This is from this is a graphic from the Council of Economic Advisors. 4.2 million new jobs. Look at that. Beautiful. Tax cut truth. Representative Andy Barr crunches the numbers, acts the bill, and a Kentucky family of four eats a $1,200 hike. Pass it in Main Street shops, dodge a 23% gut punch. Multiply that across 50 states, and you see why hometown chambers are lighting up the phones right now.
Earned $61,000 more unity today, this morning, than ever before, and we are going to pass the bill. A lot of those concerns have been allayed with some of the last-minute changes and because of the president's engagement, but the reality is that if we don't pass the bill, this is a $1,700 tax increase for the average family. In Kentucky, for a family of four that earns $61,000 a year, if we don't pass the bill, it's a $1,200 tax increase. That is not...
Is that based on the Congressional Budget Office?
This is not a tax cut for the wealthy. Kate, let me tell you something. The top rate on the wealthiest Americans today is 37%. After we pass this bill, the top rate on the wealthiest Americans will be 37%. It's the same. The tax cut is targeted for the middle income of Americans and for small businesses. If we don't pass this bill, small Main Street businesses, pass-through entities will face a 23% tax increase. This is the largest tax cut in American history, and it's targeted to Main Street businesses, families. Families with kids will face a $500 tax increase. Those are middle-income families with kids. If we don't pass the bill, this expands the standard deduction by $2,000. It expands the child tax credit by $500
so here's the question.
For
with
middle-income
all of those
Americans.
Things you're listing out.
All of this analysis about all of this analysis about this not being targeted to the lower and middle income Americans is just a lie. It's
when
total,
you had mentioned
it's totally false.
Something important there.
This helps average America more unity.
CNN. Core values in force. Jim Jordan lays it out. Tax relief, border cash, work requirements, school choice, all in one shot. Calls it a four-pillared fortress, shielding families from D.C. overreach. fail to vote yes, and the swamp pulls every brick tomorrow. While school choice is baked in.
To keep the border secure. Remember, this bill not only does that with the tax cuts that are in the legislation, but this embraces every key Republican principle we have. It says cut taxes, let parents and families keep more of their money to spend on their goals and dreams. It says provide money to keep the border secure that President Trump has now got secure. It says let's require work for able-bodied adults. That's good for taxpayers. That's good for our economy. Most importantly, it's good for the recipient. It gets them out to a better, more productive life. And this bill also says, let's give parents the ability to get to their kids to the school of their choice. School choice, tax cuts, secure border, and work requirements in our social welfare system. That's why Democrats hate it, because Democrats are against all those core conservative common sense principles that our party has. So that's why we should pass it. I know the deficits are too high and the debt's too big, and we need to deal with that. And this bill does to some degree, not as much as we should, but still it's a really good bill with those 4 fundamental Republican principles in it. Let's pass it. And as you say, Stuart, let's get our economy growing. Remember.
Okay, I got this just in from Todd. He says a draft of President Trump's big, beautiful bill includes a proposal to establish so-called MAGA savings accounts for children. The pilot program described as the Money Account for Growth and Advancement, MAGA, Money Account for Growth and Advancement, the MAGA account. In a draft released by the House Ways and Means Committee on Monday, would give the parents of every baby with a Social Security number born between the beginning of 2025 and the end of 2028 a one-time credit of $1,000. That money can be paid into the child's MAGA account, where it will accumulate interest and value through investment over time. Families and employees can contribute up to $5,000 a year to the children's account, and according to the House bill, the money will be exempt from taxation. Okay, you have some tweets. I'm going to get to those in a minute that you just bookmarked. But see if you can figure out what, like, at the age 40, if it was all the way out. Democrats are, of course, in panic mode as usual. Progressive Representative fuming that the bill bankrolls a golden dome and nukes while sealing Trump's wall. Translation: America First priorities torch their pet project. This clip shows colleagues literally covering their ears as cheers erupt on the GOP side tonight.
Billions of dollars. They've got a golden dome, and they have funding at the tune of billions of dollars for nuclear weapons in this bill. They want to continue to build Donald Trump's border wall. They've got a golden dome.
Keep crying. Billionaire myth bust. Representative Presley claims only Elon and Trump win. Fact check, top rate says 37% credits boost parents, veterans, and startups, plus child tax bump. Economists on set visibly cringe as her talking point crumbles.
The only people who've been seniors, veterans, and folks with disabilities. I mean, seriously, the only people who benefit from this bill are toy spaceship billionaires like Elon Musk and Donald Trump himself.
Yeah, sure. Unity or taxes? Fox Business guest warns Maria Bartiromo the Republican disunity means a catastrophic tax spike. Working families face $2,000 hits overnight. Small shops, 23% hikes. Wall Street will punish America by morning. Phones are burning up as constituents demand yes.
Of not passing. Republican unity is crucial right now, Maria, because the consequences of not passing this big, beautiful bill are catastrophic. They'll be disastrous for many constituents across the country who will see their taxes go up. And Republican.
If you want real news, follow us. If this threat armed you against the corporate spin, smash follow and keep up with the Next News Network. We got the White House hard pass creds, grill the power players, and drop evidence DC media hides. Stick around. No disappointment ahead. Okay, let's find what he just posted here. Okay, let's see what Todd found for us. Caroline Levitt, reigning rock star, Trump's big, beautiful bill has passed the House Budget Committee and has the backing of all Americans. It saves Americans over $1.6 trillion, sets up a savings account with $1,000 in it for all newborn American babies. Catholic vote posting is a baby boom on the horizon. President Trump's big, beautiful bill would create optional savings accounts for newborns. Let's see what she says.
For a newborn baby.
One of the provisions in the One Big Beautiful Bill, as I said, this is a very pro-family piece of legislation. Not only does it increase the child tax credit, but it also includes MAGA baby savings accounts for children that are born before January 1st, 2024, under 8 years old, U.S. citizens, and have at least one parent with a valid Social Security number. And when this tax provision becomes law, the child, if the parents seek to do this, will be set up with a savings account. Essentially, it's a 401k for a newborn baby. And child's relatives, their parents, can contribute up to $5,000 per year of after-tax dollars annually to that account. And then later in the baby's life, at age 25, savings account holders can withdraw up to the full balance of the account. Upon reaching 30, the account holders can access the full balance of the account for any purpose desired. So it's a great initiative for new parents, new mothers who want to set up this savings account for their children.
Okay, so let's find out. Let's get the answer here. If there was an investment on a child as soon as they're born of $1,000 in the stock market, how much would that be worth if it wasn't touched or anyone added to it, if that by the time that child reaches the age of 40? Thinking. Okay, let's see. All right, let's find out the answer. Thinking. Calculating investment growth. The user wants to calculate how much a $1,000 investment will grow if left untouched for 40 years in the stock market. Okay, they're going to compute the future value with a specific formula. Is that, you say 45,000, Todd? Is that the number you're seeing? Okay, let's see here. Okay. Realistic ballpark. Wow, okay. Now, tell me that in simple language. Okay. All right, thinking. This is the power of AI right here. Okay, so let's find out. Okay, you're going to tell me? All right.
Broad stock market fund on the day a baby is born and leave it alone.
Wait, start over.
Put $1,000 into a broad stock market fund on the day a baby is born and leave it alone. If the market grows the way it usually has over the last century, about 10% a year, that single $1,000 can turn into roughly $40,000 to $50,000 by the time the child turns 40. Even with lower growth, it would still likely be over $20,000. In short, $1,000 today could become tens of thousands 4 decades later, just by sitting in the market.
So $40,000 to $50,000. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty remarkable. Baby first bonus. President Trump's bill would establish optional savings account for newborns with a $1,000 credit. That's super cool, I think. So this big, beautiful bill could reshape America's industrial heartland as billions in new investments stand ready to pour into American communities. So we have to ask, why did it take this long to put America first? With China watching nervously and global markets holding their breath, what happens in the next few days could determine America's economic destiny. Will Congress answer Trump's call to action, or will they cave to special interests? The stakes could not be higher for American workers and their families. So share your thoughts below on what this big and beautiful bill would mean for your family. And if you are ready to spend some of that big, beautiful money, head on over to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com to check out our latest merch.